I think there has been a severe lack of political leadership on this issue at the local level.
And now to hear that discussions are shut down because an audit takes place is totally asinine. I am gobsmacked to hear those types of comments made in a public forum by a public employee. So I don't know if the city attorney is illiterate to the laws of the state or just ignorant.
There's no reason for the city not to work with stakeholders if there's an audit or not. That literally makes no sense.
I agree completely.
Government certainly shouldn't be taking people's property.
And I don't want to set a precedent if it doesn't go the way it probably should in Ogden, where bad practices then move throughout the state and we find ourselves getting involved.
I am troubled. I'm concerned.
The United States government, GSA, has continued to refuse to sign a subtenant lease, stating it is one of the most illegal documents they have ever seen.
A quote from the Ogden City attorney: "Don't fight me. I can outspend you."
We made a difficult decision to move off the airport. The core issue is several Ogden City employees have routinely briefed elected city officials that the FAA mandates or makes them do these things. This is patently false.
What had been a vibrant, friendly airport quickly changed when a new mayoral government came into power. During this time, hangar values plummeted due to Ogden City's unpredictable business practices.
I've been asked to read a statement for one of the hangar owners because, quite frankly, she's afraid of the retribution and retaliation from the city that may happen if she speaks. So these are her words. "I'm a retired school counselor and reside in Layton. Recently, I was served with an unlawful detainer action by Ogden City and required to vacate my first hangar. I filed a lawsuit for relief against the city. The court ruled in my favor, but immediately Ogden City appealed the decision. I relinquished control of a valuable hangar under protest to the city, and in retaliation they have continued to pursue further penalties against me for damages and attorney's fees. This is consistent to how he treats others in similar situations. Because of the existing court action, I am now in the crosshairs of the airport manager in the city. Ogden City's actions are perfect examples of government takings, not for the common good, but to line Ogden City coffers." A quote from the Ogden City attorney: "Don't fight me. I can outspend you."
Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
We informed Ogden City of our need to expand again and invest another $1.4 million. Then Ogden City changed all rules for leases with their Title VIII. The United States government, GSA, has continued to refuse to sign a subtenant lease, stating it is one of the most illegal documents they have ever seen. I was given a notice by the airport manager to evict the Forest Service from my property. This incredible act of evicting the Forest Service from this strategic location would jeopardize firefighting capability throughout the western United States.
After the last committee meeting in June, I met with the city, with the hangar owners. There was probably 40 stories just like the ones you just heard. I also met with Ogden City, beginning of July, I believe it was. We had a really good discussion, Gary Williams. So I set up a phone call with Brandon Cooper, who is the business development manager or director for Ogden City, and Kurt. He's like, "Yes, we want to work with you. Let's do it." Every 3 weeks, I would kind of text and see how it was going. So that was kind of the end of July, beginning of August. 3 weeks later, how's it going? Still working on contracts. Things are moving forward. Great. 3 weeks later, moving forward. Great. We'll have something to you next week from Brandon Cooper. Text Kurt again. 3 weeks later, he says, "We were moving. I haven't heard from Kurt, or I haven't heard from Brandon. Nothing's happening." So then I did a text together. Finally heard from Brandon again. "We're moving forward. Things are going great." End of September. "Things are moving forward, going great." October, this is mid-October, it says the city says that they cannot work with me now because of the legislative audit. So I called Cade Minchie, said, "Is there anything that the audit is doing that would prevent the city from working with someone who's helping them with contracts and everything?" And he said, "Absolutely not." So that's kind of where we're at with
There's no reason for the city not to work with stakeholders if there's an audit or not. That literally makes no sense.
I agree completely.
I am troubled. I'm concerned. You've been trying to work on it in good faith. We've heard that we've had some significant change in personnel recently, and it seems like the situation has gotten much worse.
But as we've heard, they've been dealing with this for 4 or 5 years without anyone listening. They don't seem to be willing to want to to work. So
But this is the second time in this committee that we've had a conversation where things have been misrepresented. Last committee, we weren't even able to discuss this issue per the comments of the city attorney. And now to hear that discussions are shut down because an audit takes place is totally asinine. I am gobsmacked to hear those types of comments made in a public forum by a public employee. At some point, when government abuses rise to the point where they are impacting in a broad community, millions of dollars of assets, we have to take a position on this, unfortunately. So we may have to step in if they're not going to be at least honest with their constituents.
The comment that was read says, "Don't fight," from the city attorney. "Don't fight me. I can outspend you." I've received so many similar types of comments from my constituents. That is the attitude that they've had to deal with interacting with the city. And I see administrators doing things without political any political leadership. And if the city won't do it, we will.